let's solve some real-life problems. So example 5, we're using indirect measurement. So it says you are hiking near a canyon while standing at A, so you're standing here. You measure an angle of 90 degrees between B and C. Okay, so this is 90 degrees. You're measuring that between B and C as shown. You then walk to B, which you notice is 2 miles, and measure an angle of 76 degrees between A and C. So this angle is 76 degrees. The distance between A and B is about 2 miles. So we want to find out how wide is the canyon between A and C. So there's no real easy way to do this, right? If you were actually here on the canyon, it'd be hard to find. So we use trigonometry to figure out what it is. So we're going to write a trigonometric equation and solve for x. So this is similar to what we did earlier. So we're just applying it to a real-life problem. So we do know B is 76 degrees. We want to figure out what x is over here. So what proportion, what trigonometric ratio can we write? So we have opposite over adjacent. So what is opposite over adjacent? Well, hopefully remember that it is tangent of 76 degrees equals x over 2. Then you have to go ahead and solve for it. So you multiply by 2, and then you plug it in your calculator. So x would be approximately 8.0 miles. Okay, 8.0 miles. So you can say the width is 8 miles. Okay, so kind of cool that you can use trigonometry for that. So let's, in the example above, so try this one. In the example above, find the distance between B and C now. Okay, so between B and C. So you can label that, let's label that lowercase a. So go ahead and write another trig ratio to solve for that. Again, use the 76 degrees and the 2 miles. Don't use the x. So use the 76 degrees, use 2 miles to find the a. Pause the video and see if you can figure it out. So what we have is 76, and then we have the hypotenuse over adjacent, right? We really want the hypotenuse on the top. So we can think about adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine, but I really want the reciprocal. So the reciprocal is secant of 76 degrees is a over 2 miles. So let's simplify this a little more. So secant of 76, we know that's 1 over cosine of 76 degrees. Right? There's no secant on your calculator, so you have to be able to convert it on your own. So 1 over cosine of 76 is a over 2. Then you multiply by 2 to both sides. Remember, that goes in the numerator. So you're really evaluating when a is 2 over cosine of 76 degrees. So once you plug that into your calculator, you would get approximately 8.3 miles. Now, does that make sense? This is the hypotenuse, right? So it should be longer. So the distance then between B and C is 8.3 miles, and you could write a sentence on that. So let's talk about angles of depression and angle of elevation. So hopefully this is a review from geometry. So if you're looking at a point above you, so if you're standing here and you're looking above you, you're looking at the top of the building, the angle that your line of sight makes with the line parallel to the ground is called the angle of elevation, right? This is the angle of elevation. At the top of the building, the angle between a line parallel to the ground and your line of sight is called the angle of depression, okay? So these two angles have the same measure. If you remember, two parallel lines cut by a transversal, alternate interior angles are congruent, okay? So hope you remember that. So let's go ahead and use that though. So we're going to use an angle of elevation. So a parasailer is attached to a boat with a rope, and the angle of elevation from the boat to the parasailer is 28 degrees. We want to estimate the parasailer's height above the boat. So the first thing you want to do is draw a diagram that represents this situation. So let's say we have a boat here, okay, with, the power thing here and all the propeller and in the water, and then you have somebody driving the boat, right? Lots of extra details in here. And the parasailer is attached to the boat, okay? And so the parasailer is up here, okay, kind of flying, and right here, and then they have a parachute that's attached to them. Okay, so here's our wonderful parasailer. Gotta love my drawing. So, what do we know? We know that the angle of elevation from the boat to the parasailer is 28 degrees. So this angle here is 28 degrees. What else do we know? We know that the rope is 72 feet long. So this rope is 72 feet long. We want to find the parasailer's height above the boat. So we're trying to figure out this height here. How high is it above the boat? Right here. So this is h. So we're going to write and solve an equation to find height h. So we're given 28 degrees, and we have h and 72. So what trig ratio can we use? And of course, this is a 90-degree angle here. So 28, we have opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse is sine. So we can use sine of 28 degrees equals the height over 72 feet. So then, of course, you solve. So multiply by 72 to both sides. So the height is 72 times sine of 28 degrees. So if you plug it in your calculator, you should get a height of about 33.8 feet. Okay, so then you could write a sentence on that, of course. The height of the parasailer to the boat is about 33.8 feet. Okay? So go ahead and try this last example. Estimate the height of the parasailer above the boat when the angle of elevation is 38 degrees. So the height is still, the rope is still 72 feet. So you just have to change the angle there. So go ahead and try this example. And when you come back, I'll have the answer for you. Okay, if you tried it out, you would have the same ratio, 72 times sine of 38 degrees. And so h is approximately 44.3 feet. So this part is just a review. So the last part, let theta be an acute angle of a right triangle. Write the 6 trig functions of theta. So what I'm looking for here is I am looking for what sine of theta equals opposite over hypotenuse. Then you have cosine of theta, tangent of theta, and then you have the cosecant of theta, the secant of theta, and the cotangent of theta. Then at the bottom, since cosecant, secant, and cotangent are reciprocals, write the ratios in a different way. So remember that cosecant of theta is really 1 over sine of theta. Okay, and then you go ahead and fill the rest out just as a review. It's good to review these trig functions. And thank you for watching.